Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please join us on our cinematic journey as we watch the spectacular and the craptacular. Welcome to Movies with the Man.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Murray. Let's get into Blind Fury. He may be blind, but Nick Parker has a way with a sword. The Vietnam vet pays a visit to an old war buddy, Frank Devereaux, only to discover that his friend is in deep trouble. Gangsters have killed Frank's wife and are holding him hostage in Reno, Nevada. Making a narrow escape with Frank's young son, Nick heads across the country to even the score. Needless to say, his opponents underestimate him and his sword skills. So, if you couldn't tell, this movie is about a blind guy who can whip ass with a sword.
This is the alternate version of the Vietnam veteran comes into a town, kicks ass. This is a blind Vietnam veteran who comes into town and kicks ass.
So let's give you some movie facts here. The budget for this movie was $10 million. Where the hell this budget went, I don't know. There is no explanation whatsoever for the budget in this movie. This movie, I am dumbfounded that it cost that much to make.
You tell me that number, it's shocking.
It is. That's why, like, when I talked to you earlier, I was like, I don't want to tell you the budget until we record because it's mind-boggling that they spent that much money.
Is it that expensive to film in Reno?
In 1989.
I do remember, I looked up the shooting locales. They shot in Atlanta, Texas, and Nevada. No tropical locales.
Apparently no tax breaks. I don't know. That's the problem. Box office, want to take a guess?
Let me see, 10 million budget. I'm going to say 20.
Ooh, you are so off. You're not even close. 2,692,000. Oof. It was quite the bomb. Surprise. So now let's go with some scores. On Rotten Tomatoes, out of 15 reviews, we got a 53%. On 5,000 user reviews, it's got a 51%. So it's about even, which is, not surprising. IMDb's got it at 6.3. Metacritic has it at 31%. And Google seems to like everything. 83% like this movie. If you want to watch this movie, don't be surprised by this, but it's free on Tubi. It's also free on the Roku channel. If you have YouTube TV, it's on there. You can rent it on YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango at home, Amazon Prime, which pretty much means it's anywhere for rent. Don't pay for this movie.
Yes, go to Tubi. Now, this is what I like to call a Tubi classic.
Yes. And now, to be fair, a Tubi classic doesn't mean it's going to get a bad score from me. I don't know about Justin, but for me, a Tubi classic could be glorious.
Oh, right.
My movie collection I have sitting behind you over there is full of Tubi classics. Full.
That's the thing. We're doing our ratings off enjoyment. When I do a rating, it's entertainment. But I can also rate a movie high, on quality. It's a combination for me. I'm not going to kill a movie because it's a schlockfest. I might love a schlockfest.
100%. I gave Code of Silence, a Chuck Norris movie, a 4 out of 5. But I gave Conclave a 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. That doesn't mean they're almost the same in terms of quality of film. They're vastly different. If I had to compare the two of them, well, one's a 1 and the other one's a 10. Let's be real, but I'm not grading them that way. I'm like, how much did I enjoy it while I watched it? That's 100% where my score is coming from.
Right.
And that's it, period. So let's get to the movie because we are unfortunately babbling. I know people are like, oh, hey man, I wanted to talk about the classic Blind Fury. This movie stars Rutger Hauer, Terrence O'Quinn, Lisa Blount, Randall Tex Cobb, and Noble Willingham. The movie was directed by Philip Noyce, who has some bangers under his belt, like Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger. Having said that, there's a lot of garbage under his belt throughout all of it.
There are some nuggets mixed up with the trash.
So the movie starts off in Vietnam and basically shows how Nick ends up going blind. And he wanders into a net that catches him, and he ends up at a random village that the people just decide to take care of him, which I thought was odd. But not only take care of him, they decide to train him with a sword.
And they're very friendly people to this imperialist conqueror.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. I'm like, this guy's here destroying your country, and you're like, we'll take care of this white man. Who cares? The dude was blind for like a day, and already was able to hear things like Ray Charles. Took him no time. Right. He already had supersonic
His
hearing.
Other 4 senses instantly went to 11.
Because that's how it works. And then it just abruptly cuts to 20 years later,
right.
Which I'd like to point out that Rutger Hauer was like 44, 45 when they made this movie. How old was he supposed to be when he was in Vietnam? Right. Because this would make him
44,
like
45 in Vietnam.
That would make him like 60 at the part at this part in the movie, in his 60s.
Yeah, or probably 50s. I mean, well, no, it was made in 89, so it's about 20 years since Vietnam. Yeah, he would be in his 60s.
Yeah, I'm saying that they moved. I'm saying when the movie was made, he was that old. So I was in my head thinking in Vietnam he was in his 40s. So right. When they said 20 years later he was in his 60s.
Right. But looks exactly the same.
Awesome. Beautiful. Aging wonderfully.
He is. That transient lifestyle has been great to him. He looks terrific.
So it starts off by showing him kind of doing like walking down a highway, which I noticed that they're trying to show you like his senses as he's walking down the highway when he's tapping with his stick. And apparently his sensors are so good that he's able to detect a Coke can and jump over it and then a pile of dog crap. I see where we're going with this. He's good at being blind. Right. He can hear all.
And I'm guessing he knew the dog crap was there from his super smell.
Yes, his sense of smell. And he wanders into like a random bar. And at this bar, surprise, one of the guys there decides to start messing with him. He's eating.
Not just one. There was like
no. It starts off with the one guy because the one guy walks over and tricks him into putting this super hot sauce into his burrito. I don't know if you noticed what this guy was wearing.
I don't remember.
He had like a little leather vest thing on or whatever, if I remember right. You know how women will tie their shirt into a knot and make a little half shirt? That's what he was wearing.
Oh, that's
and
hilarious.
I just thought that makes you a tough guy, 100%, because that's what all tough guys in the 80s wore, half shirts, the knotted shirt.
Sometimes net shirts. They loved it.
And it ends up with a woman coming in and them stealing her purse, and somehow the purse ends up getting thrown to Nick. And then because of it, he ends up fumbling around and accidentally knocking all these guys out. And what I thought was so weird is that it just abruptly cuts to Reno, Nevada, to a bunch of bad guys holding Frank Devereaux off of a ledge. No explanation, no nothing. Them just threatening him, telling him to make drugs, that they're going to get his kid and kill his wife.
But let's not blow past the
Oh, I missed something. Oh, yes.
Fight scene. First of all, was it okay to pick on blind people in 1989?
Apparently. Yeah, yes, apparently. I didn't even think about that.
I have no problem.
I must be okay with it because it didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Right. And you got Rutger Hauer. He's wandering the countryside like Kane from Kung Fu, just getting into adventures.
Oh, what's funny is that's how I described him, as Kane in Kung Fu.
But blind.
Yeah.
I mean, no explanation. He goes straight from 1969 in the Cambodian village to wandering the roads of the southern U.S.
Actually, what I put in my notes is that he wanders the earth like Kane in Kung Fu, or as Vincent Vega said, a bum. Because where's he getting money? I guess maybe he's getting money from the military.
Theoretically, he should have a military pension.
Okay, but where are they sending that
exactly.
pension? I mean, does he got a bank account somewhere? Did they have debit cards back then in the 80s? I don't know. Yeah, he was writing checks everywhere he went. Blind guy writing checks.
No, this check is good.
He's poking holes in it because it's in Braille.
Yes. You can't worry about stuff like this when watching a movie.
Which I'm going to be honest, as we go through this movie, they didn't worry about a lot of things.
Right. They probably should have.
Oh my God.
Okay, we're beating up these guys in this barbecue place, and then it cuts to Reno, Nevada,
where they're hanging Frank Devereaux off a ledge, and this is where you meet the main bad guy, McCready. He's threatening Terry O'Quinn's character, Frank, and he's telling him that he needs him to make some drugs because Terry O'Quinn's a chemist. What you don't know at this point in the movie is that McCready owes the bank a ton of money, and he needs to sell these drugs in order to make the money to pay back the bank, or he's going to lose, I believe, his casino.
Right.
Is what it is. That's really all it is. And then it just ends with Frank saying, please, please. And then it just fades to Nick walking up to Frank's old house where his ex-wife lives. As he's walking up to the house, you see the son inside the house making like a little clay dinosaur that he's putting his name in, and he accidentally drops it out the window. And Nick, with his super senses, catches it.
Right.
And goes to the door.
Because that's believable.
Yes, 100%. He gets to the door, and, Frank's ex-wife is like, I have no idea who you are. Invites him in anyway. Now, I'm a little baffled by some things. She tells Nick about how Frank left them, but yet she still has pictures of Frank all over her house.
Right.
Doesn't know who Nick is, yet one of the pictures sitting on the table has Frank and Nick in it.
Right.
But still has no clue who this guy is.
Who are you?
Yeah, I just find it hard to believe that Frank was like, I'm going to put this picture of this random guy on her shelf when they were together, and he never explained, oh, that's my buddy from the war. He died because Frank thought he was dead.
She never asked, oh, who's this?
Yeah.
And, he was my best friend in Vietnam. Never came up. And so he gets to the house like maybe 30 minutes before Tex Cobb, which is impeccable timing.
Yeah, no, you mean Slag. That's what he plays, Slag. What the hell kind of name is Slag? That is his name in this movie. Which he looks like a slag, by the way. Perfect name for him. Which, how it happens is two cops just, she opens the door and these two cops just come in and they're like immediately like, where's your son? Where's Billy? Where's he at? We need him now. And then Detective Slag walks in pretending to be a detective, which I had some questions. Clearly, to me, they were real cops. And he was pretending to be a detective. Is what it appeared to me. They were dirty cops.
These are dirty cops.
Well, but they were still real cops.
Right, but yes, real cops, just dirty.
So I was very confused because I don't know. They clearly were some distance from Reno, wherever they lived. So I was trying to figure.
Florida, I think.
Yeah, yes. So I was trying to figure out how McCready was able to get some dirty cops all the way in Florida to go and do all this at his ex-wife's house. I mean, I understand that.
I guess he ran an ad in the paper.
Yeah, ad for dirty cops.
Needed,
yeah,
one-time gig.
Yeah,
pays well.
And
but apparently we're supposed to believe that this drug empire that hasn't even really started yet is so vast that he has connections in Florida.
Yes. The Nick gets up and does his bumbling thing again and spills his tea that he has, and they're like, oh, he's blind. Does Billy come in the room? Is that what happens? I can't remember.
Right.
Because I
believe he does.
Because I know because does Slag grab Billy? Is that what ends up? Because Slag grabs Billy, the mom gets up. No, he doesn't grab Billy. I can't remember what happens there. Oh my God, I'm terrible at this.
If I remember correctly, she gets shot.
She does.
Right
She
away.
gets shot like almost immediately. Billy's not there when that happens. I think he's like outside when that happens. Oh, we're terrible at this. But she does get blown away right there. Billy doesn't see that. Well, then Nick gets up and starts fighting the cops. He chops one cop's hand off.
Yes.
And
very cool, by the way.
Well, yes, I thought that was awesome. Now, where I was really confused is the black cop follows Nick into the other room, and Nick slices up the dresser and through a stone statue they have there, but you don't see what he did to the cop. The cop is just dead.
You're supposed, I guess, assume that he got sliced from navel to nose.
That's what I thought too, but you don't see it or anything.
You don't ever see it.
He comes out and Slag tries to grab the gun again. Nick chops the chair that the gun's on, and so he can't get to the chair because somehow Nick knew there was a chair and that would work. And
super senses.
Yeah. And then he ends up slicing right through Slag's cigar that he had in his mouth, and Slag ends up running off.
Right.
That's when Nick realizes he needs to take care of Billy because his mom, as she's dying, tells him, you need to protect my son, take care of him, which is where this whole movie takes off.
Yes. I guess he is her only option at that point.
True. I don't know what else she's going to do.
Please, blind guy, watch my son.
I'm still confused by so many things that go on in this movie. Like, how is there not a wild police manhunt for Nick now? Because there's dead cops. There's a dead mom. Billy's missing, which they do show like in a paper that like all this stuff happened.
This would be all over the evening news.
Yes.
Mom gets killed in home invasion.
They would be all over the place.
Child missing.
This kid's face would be all over everything.
Right.
Like when they go to the bus station to take a bus to Reno, when they go there, Billy's being kind of a jerk to Nick because he doesn't understand what's going on. The cop's like, is there something going on here? The cop would have already known Billy was missing.
Right. He would have a photo of Billy, but apparently not in the 80s.
They end up getting on a bus, and on their way to Reno on this bus, they make a stop in Kansas, of all places. And
was it Kansas?
Yeah,
I thought it was Texas.
No, it was Kansas because there was a little road sign that said Kansas.
Oh,
it had
good.
like Best Pies.
I did not.
And,
I missed that.
And there was a big cornfield across the road because they end up having a fight in a cornfield.
That's right.
This is where he ends up having to tell Billy that, hey, your mom's dead. Billy gets upset and runs off down across the road and into the cornfield. And Nick has to chase after him. Now, I had some problems with this scene. As Nick is going across the road, you see a pickup truck pull up behind them that has a whole bunch of dudes just standing in the back of it with a ridiculous amount of weapons. And I'm thinking, nobody's saying, what the hell are all these guys doing here with all these weapons? I mean, nobody questioned this.
It's rural Kansas. I guess people are to assume that everyone's just packing.
Then I had another question. How did they know where they were going? How did they know where to be at that moment? Like, how did they know what bus they got on? How did they know that they were stopping in Kansas?
Right.
There's no explanation whatsoever as to how they got there. Because my thought was, if they knew they were going there, why didn't they just go to the bus station and get them already?
It's before the surveillance state.
Yes.
There are not cams everywhere catching everything. So there's no way they would have known these guys were on this bus.
At the very least, they knew they were going.
I mean, I guess we're supposed to assume that crime syndicate is so powerful, they just have people stationed everywhere.
I guess. I mean, I know, I get the idea that they could have known they were going to Reno, but be waiting for them in Reno,
right?
Not Kansas.
Right.
Like, how did they? That just
it doesn't
threw
make
me
sense,
off.
But that's all right.
Nick chases after Billy into the cornfield, and all the bad guys end up chasing them into the cornfield as well. And Slag ends up grabbing Billy and throwing him into this weird barn that's in the middle of this cornfield.
I believe it's an irrigation shed.
Is that what it was with your technical terms?
Yes. Former farmer here.
I have some questions about these bad guys that were chasing him in, at least one of them. The first bad guy that Nick kills in the field as he's walking through with his gun, I don't know if you noticed, but he also was carrying a big giant bag of popcorn, and I couldn't figure out why. You're out there chasing a killer guy that you've been told is quite good with a sword. Why would you be bringing just a snack along with you?
You got to keep that blood sugar up. You never know when you're gonna need a good pick-me-up. That's a joke. That made no sense. Him carrying popcorn.
No, it didn't. I'm guaranteed.
I guess it's adding character to these clowns.
But the movie's supposed to be a comedy, and that's where, like, to me, the comedy itself fell flat. The stuff that wasn't supposed to be comedy was comedy.
Yes, the unintentional comedy is where it's at in this movie.
And then, Slag ends up getting on top of that irrigation building. And
right, he has the high ground. He should be able to easily shoot Rutger Hauer at this point.
But Nick uses a scarecrow to pretend that he's coming up through this, and he keeps shooting at the scarecrow. Then Nick ends up knocking down part of the shed, and the whole thing comes down, and he ends up slicing Slag, which at that point, why is he not cutting Slag's throat or stabbing him in the head or doing something, killing him?
This is the second time he's let Slag off the hook.
Yes, I'm sorry. I mean, your priorities are kind of messed up here, man. I understand you need to get Billy to his dad, but you also need to stop these guys from coming after you.
And he has no problem killing lower henchmen, but we just can't kill Slag.
Well, it's because you need Slag for the end of the movie. That's for his final bow out.
Yeah. Rutger Hauer knocks the shed out from under Slag, and he gathers the boy back up, and they escape.
There's this scene where they're like resting and camping after this, and I really kind of glossed over that part, except for the part where the boy's asleep. As they're sitting there, and you hear this buzzing, and you see like these little bugs flying around, and then for no reason whatsoever, they show Nick just slice right through a wasp. And then an old couple.
Oh, that's right.
An old couple says, "Oh, we got to get one of those." Completely pointless. Had no reason for it whatsoever.
Right.
And then
it's just comedy.
I guess it just fades. And again, like I said, comedy fell flat. Just no, not for me.
Yes, their attempts at comedy fall flat and are terrible.
So from here, they end up making it to the dad's apartment.
Right in Reno,
which. I'm a little confused as to how exactly they knew the exact address of Frank Devereaux, because they never explained how he knew how to get exactly where he lived.
He used his 4 remaining senses.
I guess. Once again, details are not a factor in this movie. And
details are fuzzy.
And this is where we'd already kind of met the Annie character earlier in the movie, but not really. And that's Frank's girlfriend. And she opens the door, and suddenly, this is where Nick's senses fail him, and 2 of the bad guys are in there. The 2, what I would argue, dumbest bad guys in the whole movie, 2 brothers.
Pike brothers.
And they end up kidnapping Nick and Billy and throwing them into a back of a van. They end up taking Annie and driving off down the road. They're tied up in the back of the truck, and Nick gets Billy to get loose and get his lighter, and they start a fire in the back of it, and that's how they're able to escape. During this whole ride...
Now, Annie is working with the Pike brothers at this point.
Unwillingly,
Right.
Point out. During this whole scene, they discover that Nick's walking stick is also his sword. And so they end up throwing it out the window, and Nick has Billy count so they can determine the distance between where the vehicle stops and how far back his sword is.
He can hear his sword fall from anywhere on the
Yes,
on Earth.
yes, with this supersonic hearing. The brothers open the door. Nick kicks it open, gets out. They're able to get back in the vehicle. Annie drives. They go back to go get the sword. In the process of finding the sword, Annie's glasses come off and Nick accidentally steps on them.
His senses failed him.
I'm baffled by this. And then I'm also baffled by, once again, we have a scene where bad guys are doing things where no police ever show themselves. The bad guys just come rolling down the road, just shooting guns out in the open, left and right.
Carjacking old women.
Yes. And no police are ever called. Nothing. A chase scene ensues, but this is the most ridiculous thing. One of the, I'd say 5 probably top most ridiculous things in the movie. Since Annie's glasses are broken,
Guess who has to drive?
Nick has to drive, and Billy's got to navigate for him. Because as you all know, a person who needs glasses is not as good as a guy with super senses and a kid navigating for him.
I want to point out, Blind Fury pulled off the blind guy driving a car 3 years before Son of a Woman and Al Pacino.
Yeah, eat your heart out.
Yeah,
Eat your heart out.
Totally stole it.
Yeah. Oh my God. And then not only are they driving, and then they're driving this car down this street in Reno while the bad guys still continue to shoot at them left and right. And again, 0 police ever are called or show up.
You never see a...
This whole movie, you see no cops except for the 2 bad ones that showed up earlier in the movie. That's it.
The rest of the cops are at the donut shop.
Apparently, I mean, or they're all paid off to not be around because they know that McCready's got them all on his payroll. Hey, don't worry, I got crime going on.
This super crime syndicate that hasn't really even started yet because you need a chemist.
Yes. So they end up getting away. The brothers end up crashing, and then they end up going to one of Annie's friends. Her name's Colleen. Annie stays there, and Billy stays there. Nick goes off to go get Frank. Which for me, this is this part of the movie on is like one of my favorite aspects in the movie because it becomes even more ridiculous.
Oh yes,
like the ridiculous level goes to a 10 here.
Yes, they're like the filmmakers are like, you think it's been ridiculous so far? Hold my beer, we're gonna take it up a notch.
He goes to the casino where he knows Frank is being held hostage in. And he watches McCready get on an elevator, and he uses his supersonic hearing to hear the code as the tones are played on the elevator code.
Right.
While there's 2 guards in front of
You
him.
always have to remember, all this is being done by a blind guy.
Yes. Here's something I didn't understand. There's 2 guards in front of the elevator, and his genius plan to get the elevator guards away is to go win a whole lot of money at roulette because his super senses somehow allow him to win at roulette.
Yes, I have in my notes, being blind makes you great at roulette.
Yes, and he was winning so much money that they brought down a loaded ball and some kind of device that like made the ball fall into like wherever they wanted it to fall.
Right. Oh yeah, only way they can beat a blind guy at roulette.
Nick can hear the device beeping. So he slices the pocket of the table, whatever. I don't know what you call them at a roulette table, like the dealer or whatever he is.
Let's go dealer.
He slices the pocket of that guy, and it shows the little device. And then he uses his sword to like pull up the roulette wheel and show all the little chip things on it. And some black lady yells, "They're cheating!" And then a riot starts.
Right, mayhem ensues.
And the guards are pulled away from the door, and then they come running over there. Nick sneaks his way over to the door. The guards are looking for Nick, trying to beat him up. Nick narrowly gets the code, and he gets in the elevator while there's a guy who's taking food to McCready or whoever it is. I don't know, or McCready's like henchman is who it was, I believe.
Right, and he knocks out the waiter.
Yeah, and then pretends to be the waiter.
Right. But these guards are sharp because they sniff it out.
Oh yeah, the guard's upstairs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's more guards upstairs that he gets up there and they realize as
they can't quite put their finger on it, but something's not right.
Yep, they stop him. They open up they pull the little tray thing open and see that the waiter's been stuffed inside of the little cart, and which he was stuffed in there really good and quick. And then they make Nick drop his stick. Then he kicks it up in the air and knocks both of them out real quick because, of course.
Because he's a super soldier.
I don't know what you got for notes, but this next scene I thought was fantastic, where he goes in there to talk to McCready's little underling to figure out where Frank is.
Is this the scene where he slices off his eyebrows?
Yes. Him going in there and asking where Frank is, and this dude's basically getting ready to tell him F you. And as he pulls out the gun, Nick just whips out the sword, and you think he cut the dude's throat or something, or cut his fingers off, and the guy's going, ah, and then it just pans down, and his eyebrows are laying on the table.
Yes, perfectly.
Yes. And I'm still trying to figure out how a straight slice across your face
would clip the nose.
Yes, would just eyebrows right off. And of course, Frank is just right across the hall. Right. You know, no, Nick could have just found him. No problem. Now, Nick goes over there to get Frank. Frank has already created the drug, and he's destroying the lab, and for some reason, he decides to take the drug with him, which I thought, why didn't you just destroy the drug?
Yes. Did you notice the color of the drug?
That it was blue?
Yes.
What was the significance of that?
Well, I'm just thinking, was Frank the inspiration for Walter White?
I'm going to go with probably not.
Yes.
From here, Nick takes Frank back to Colleen's place, and surprise, the bad guys figured out that Billy and Annie were being hidden at Colleen's place. Colleen's dead, but I have a question about this scene. The phone rings. How did they know they were there right then at that moment? It's just convenient timing.
Perfect timing.
I mean, this whole movie is like just dominoes falling just at the right time. It's just knocking them down one right after the other. There's like so many things that if they just didn't happen, nothing else would have happened. McCready wants Nick to bring the drugs to some like ski resort thing all the way at the top of a mountain.
Apparently he owns.
I don't know, like, because there was nobody else there,
right?
And there's this ridiculous giant lift that they have to take all the way up to the top, and in it they have this heartfelt moment where Frank is forgiven by Nick, and Nick tells Frank that I had to do this for myself too, which. I guess we needed this in the movie. We had to have the sentimental moment, which is interrupted as the ski lift makes it to the top. And instantaneously, as it reaches the top, all the bad guys just blow holes throughout the entire ski lift. I mean, it's ridiculous. And somebody has to explain to me the logic behind this, because if Frank did have the drugs on him, would they not have just blown the drugs to smithereens?
Right. Or what if they had hidden the drugs before they got on the
then they killed him, and now the drugs aren't there. Yep. No drugs.
And you've also killed the chemist that made the drugs, so you're screwed. But they did not put that much thought into this.
But as they walk into the lift, guess what? Nick and Frank are already in the building.
Right. Because, they pulled an okey doke.
Because ninjas.
Blind ninjas.
Yeah, blind ninjas. I would like to point out some dialogue that was going on at this part in the movie.
Please do.
So as they're walking in, one of the I can't remember their names, one of the brothers walks in,
brothers.
Says, that thing's got more holes than my daddy's rubber, which the brother responds, I didn't know daddy wore a rubber. Again, I was just like, do you think like when they wrote this, somebody went Control S and then walked away and was like, I'm going on break, like under Apple IIe?
Yes. These two are not taking their jobs seriously.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all, especially later on when
especially when you consider you're fighting against a super soldier samurai blind guy.
Yes, a samurai. Yes, a Vietnamese samurai, because he was...
Exactly.
So when they're in the building, the bad guys figure out where Frank and Nick are and kind of corner them in the hallway. And Frank ends up ditching Nick again. And what I love is that during this scene... if Nick has a flashback of Frank ditching him in Vietnam.
Right.
And
I'm not sure I'm not sure it's fair to say Frank ditched him in Vietnam. I think he thought he was dead. He was trying to survive himself. So.
Yeah, I mean they got ambushed, so it was like, what am I supposed to do? Because they were surrounded. I mean,
Exactly.
but I don't know. He kind of ditched him. I mean, Nick escapes and ends up in a room, and he's surrounded in a circle by all the bad guys. And you're like, well, this is it for Nick. He's done. No way he can get out of this. But guess what? Frank comes through, pulls the fuse, lights go out. Bad guys start shooting because no one realizes they're standing in a circle and they start shooting each other.
They have not thought this plan through.
No, not at all. And did you notice something else about this room? It wasn't really dark.
No,
it was it was pretty well lit up. I don't understand.
Right. I think we're supposed to suspend our disbelief and just go with the fact this is a pitch black room.
Yeah, but it wasn't. The door was open and the sun was coming through. It was the middle of the day. You could have seen everything. They could have easily killed Nick. And one of the bad guys says, "Do you see him?" Another one says, "I can't see a thing." And then Nick says, "That's where I live." And then starts chopping him up.
I have that quote on my notes. I can't see a thing. That's where I live. It's just amazing dialogue.
All I kept thinking about when I heard that, I was just like, I was born in the darkness. I was like, all right, Bane. Oh, man.
So you'll have to help me. My memory is not great. Do we go? Is the fight with Tex Cobb?
No. That's the last thing that happens.
Okay, so the Japanese samurai.
No, hang on. We'll get there. So basically what happens after that is where, so Nick kills everyone in the room, of course, because, why not?
Super soldier.
And then him and Frank blow their way into the room where MacReady's holding his son and Annie hostage. Now, we left something out earlier, and I completely glossed this over in my notes, but at one point in the movie, MacReady is telling his main guy, one of his main guys, "I don't want to hear anything about this blind guy. Get me something. Get me Bruce Lee." And he's like, "He's dead, sir." "Well, get me his brother."
Right.
Okay. Out of nowhere, a Japanese guy just shows up, which, by the way, how you find out he's Japanese is that as him and Nick start fighting, Nick touches his face. He goes, "Ooh, Japanese." So they end up having this ridiculous sword fight. And
apparently this guy is the best sword fighter in the world.
I guess. I don't know who he is, where he came from. There's no explanation.
We have zero history with this guy. He just shows up.
Which is what 90% of this movie is. Zero explanation. There's nothing. I mean, we know nothing about MacReady. We know nothing about, they didn't really explain crap. And so they get into a fight, and in the process of the fight, some electrical equipment ends up falling into a hot tub.
Yes. Someone is going to end up in this hot tub of death.
100%. Japanese guy starts swinging from a rope, and then Nick chops the rope, and the Japanese guy falls right into the hot tub. Right after that happens, Slag walks in and says, I think he says, "Not bad for a blind guy," or whatever, and then shoots him right in his arm, which I want to bring something else up about his arm later.
Okay.
He shoots him in his left arm, and Rutger Hauer takes his sword and throws it at Slag and stabs him in the stomach. Slag falls over, and Rutger Hauer's sword is on the floor, so he doesn't have a weapon.
Right.
Slag gets up, and now Rutger Hauer doesn't have anything. Billy gets up to run after the sword, and that's when MacReady goes to shoot Billy, and Frank grabs the shotgun and then causes him to miss Billy, and then they start wrestling for the shotgun. Billy grabs the sword, throws it through the air, and then as it's flying slowly through the air, peaceful Asian music starts playing.
This is the culmination of all this training.
And then it gets to Nick, and he misses it. What? This dude caught a dinosaur that he had no idea was flying out of a window. Yes. This dude messed people up in fights, but missed his sword.
His powers fail him at the most inopportune times.
And so as Slag is getting up, Nick turns around and finds the Japanese guy's sword, turns around and hits Slag so hard with the sword that Slag blows backwards through the window and flies out the window, down a cliff, and then Darth Maul style splits in half.
Yes, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yo, I did too.
It's totally against the matte painting, but it looks good.
Oh no, I like. For the '80s, I was like, I'll allow it.
Yes.
Now, from there it fades to Terry O'Quinn, to Frank and his son, and Annie and them getting ready to get on a bus, and Nick get on a bus. Now I have some problems. What the hell happened to McCready? They never, I rewound it because they never showed what happened to McCready.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, no, there's nothing. They don't talk about him. They don't kill him. It just goes to them getting on the bus.
The last you see is McCready talking to the drug dealers who are bailing. They're like,
but that's before.
Right.
That's before. And then the last you see McCready is him and Frank wrestling for the shotgun on the ground, and then he kills Slag. And then it fades to them. Getting on the bus.
Yeah.
No answer whatsoever for whatever happened to McCready. Mind blown.
Yeah. No one's gonna care.
Yeah, and again, there was so many details they didn't care about in this movie, and there's more of them coming up. So the other thing I said, he got shot in his arm. Clearly, what them getting on the bus is happening mere moments after all this other stuff just happened. And this kid, Billy, not traumatized by any of this at all.
No, he's rolling with it.
And they show Nick standing there with his arm in a made-up sling of like some rags. And he still has a bullet hole in his arm and his shirt, and they've done nothing about it.
Are we supposed to assume days have gone by, or is it?
It doesn't seem like it. But if it has, he's still wearing the same damn shirt with the bullet hole in it, and it doesn't look like they worked on it or anything.
Yes, it still looks like it's bleeding.
Yeah, that's why I was like, what is going on here? And then as they're all getting ready to get on the bus, Nick drops his ticket for no reason at all and starts walking off. And then Billy sees this, and Billy runs off after Nick, screaming for him about how he needs them. Where the hell was his dad? His dad doesn't go after him at all.
He doesn't, yeah.
And it's not like 2 or 3 feet away from the bus where he can look out the window and see him. He ends up chasing Nick all the way like off to around the corner.
Over a bridge.
Yeah.
Or onto a bridge.
Which
not safe at all.
Which, by the way Nick leaves his life is he walks across the street, narrowly missing 3 cars, and vanishes as a bus passes by. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, that didn't just cause Billy more trauma. You know, somebody he just got attached to, again, ditches him.
Bails on him.
Yeah. He lost his mom. His dad's kind of traumatized him already. He had a gun up against his head, but now this guy he loves, gone. Yep. And he's yelling, I'm going to miss you, Nick. And then throws the dinosaur off the ledge of the bridge. And Nick happens to be down there and catches it.
Yes.
Puts it in his little sling, puts on some glasses as you see him shedding a tear. And he get in, and the bus pulls up around the corner. The bus pulls up around the corner and picks up Billy. Billy's dad doesn't come and get him. Right. The damn bus comes around the corner to get him.
But he did direct the bus driver, I guess. To follow that kid.
Yes, because that's how things work. and then you see Nick wandering off, and this is where I wrote my note of like he wandered to Earth like Kane in Kung Fu, or as Vincent Vega put him, like a bum.
Do you think these filmmakers had the audacity to believe that this is going to be the start of a series, or there was at least a sequel in the works? The music from The Incredible Hulk should have been playing. I'm
going to be honest. If they'd have made another one, I'd have watched it.
Absolutely.
What'd you give it?
I gave it 3.5.
I give it a 4. For all the stupidity and the ridiculousness, dude, I loved it. I loved the fact.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it. I loved that they didn't care. I did. Like, they just were like, who cares? Like, they took the Steven Spielberg approach. Nobody's going to notice that there's a ledge now and there wasn't a minute ago.
It is the end of the 80s, so cocaine in Hollywood was still a thing. So these guys had to be just...
What do you think they thought when they finished the film? Somebody had to have asked what happened to McCready, and then somebody had to say, who cares?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it had to have been that way, man.
Yep. They're like...
Yeah.
Oh, who?
Yeah. I mean, there's just... dude, I really rewound it. Like I kept going, like, I had to have missed something.
I didn't notice that. That's amazing. And you're totally right. He just disappears from the movie.
Into the ether.
Yeah.
I assume Frank killed him.
They don't show it.
Because they make it seem like Slag was the big baddie at the end of the movie, which, by the way, I would like to also point out, Slag walks in after the Japanese guy fight and shoots him, But where the hell has he been the whole time during this fight? Because that seems to be his whole MO. I just show up, like, kind of, and just kind of do stuff.
Yeah.
I wait for everybody else to get things done,
Right.
and then I suck at my job.
Yeah, and then I fail.
Yeah, that's how he, you know what? You know, I got a theory.
He totally has just tons of irrational confidence.
Yeah.
He has been bested at every turn by this blind guy, and he's still just like, oh yeah, I got this.
Maybe he survived his fall and he ended up in jail, and that's how he ended up in there with Ernest.
Yeah, that's right. Well, yeah, Darth Maul survived being sliced in
Yeah.
two. So did
Yeah, they put him back together.
So did Slay.
Yeah. I will say this. For it being a crappy movie and the effect being not that great when Slag fell off the building and getting cut in half, they did a better job of his proportions staying the way they should, unlike RoboCop, where the arms all start extending out to like
20 feet arms.
Yeah. All right, folks. I mean, we should probably wrap this up. We're like way into this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. It was a good time. I was like, I hope you had fun, Justin.
I did. I had a blast.
All right. We'll see you on the next one.
Yep. See you later.
We hope you enjoyed the show, but it's time for us to go. We've got lives, we've got wives, they'll start complaining.